What's up, connoisseurs? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also, the channel that was created by a retail investor for retail investors and home to the best MJ community. Happy Friday. It's October 25th. Hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to be discussing today's the day that Trump is scheduled to appear on Joe Rogan podcast. We're not exactly sure when it's going to air, but I'll give my thoughts and opinions on this. Obviously, this is great news. It's going to be great exposure, I think, for MJ and crypto. I think they're probably going to mention both. And if I had to guess, it's probably going to be somewhere around 2 to 3 hours long, knowing Joe Rogan's normal length, but you never know. It's Trump, so maybe he only gets an hour and a half or something like that. But I'd say sweet spot should be around 2 hours. And I think there's a very high probability that, no pun intended, that he'll bring up MJ because it was mentioned during the Lex Friedman podcast. And we know during that podcast, he actually did a shout out to Joe Rogan. So we'll discuss all of that and more. Before we do, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. And let me know in the comment section below. Do you think they're going to mention MJ? Do you think they're going to mention crypto? Both? Neither? Always love hearing from you. We'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. I'm getting a ton of bots as well on the channel. I review every single comment. So if you're wondering why your comment doesn't appear, I have to go through and manually approve each one. And I think I must have got at least a couple hundred bot comments on a recent Litecoin video. So that's a crypto for those that aren't aware. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully that was just a one-off and it's not like that forever. But I try to do my best on this channel to cut down on the amount of bots in the comments because it's just ridiculous. Some of the other kind of channels that are out there that just leave it open. So I try to do that as an added service to my audience because I don't want all these bots just flooding. It just lessens the quality of it. It's almost like you shouldn't even bother going there. Right? You go to the comment section and there's 20,000 comments and 19,000 of them are bots. Well, what's the point, right? So today is the day. So as you can see here, this is from the Wall Street Journal. When is Trump appearing on Joe Rogan's podcast? Here's what we need to know. So former President Donald Trump is continuing his podcast blitz with an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience. The interview will take place on Friday at Joe Rogan's studio in Austin, Texas, but it isn't clear when the episode will be released to the public. Rogan, who has more than 14 million followers on the streaming platform Spotify, is one of the industry's most popular hosts. And Lex Friedman, I published this about a month ago. He called Joe Rogan the best conversationalist of all time. And he kind of defended Rogan in this clip. It might not be in this clip because I did a smaller version than the original. And this was just on MJ, Psychedelics, Truth, etc. So if you want to go see the whole podcast on Lex Friedman, like I said, he defends Joe. And Trump is like, no, I don't have any issue with Joe. And then he's like, well, maybe you should go on his podcast. He's like, oh, maybe I would. I don't think I wouldn't, be opposed to it. And he said, I'm not reaching out to them, but if they reached out to me, I think is what he said he would do it. And here he is living up to his word. So, this was great that they mentioned MJ in this podcast. He said it's been very good, right? Florida's doing it well and medical has been really good. He talked to a lot of doctors, etc. We know that shortly after Trump came out in favor of, he said he had an announcement pertaining to Florida. A lot of people were speculating it's probably going to be he supports it. Why would he say I have an announcement pertaining to Florida and then say, I don't support Amendment 3 in adult use in Florida? So as expected, came out, he was in support of Amendment 3 in adult use, said he's going to vote yes on that. And then, the fact that they're just mentioning it is great to see. And we have Kamala Harris coming out saying she wants to federally legalize it. And actually today, there was the post on X directly. There was also an MJ Moment article, but I'll just go get the exact post here on, let me just bring up I should have had it up here. Apologies for that. It's been a busy day. But yeah, Kamala Harris puts MJ legalization on presidential to-do list alongside border security. So we'll scroll down here. Here it is here. So you can see it was 6 on the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Legalize recreational MJ. So again, if this was February 2021, when we were at 52-week highs and a lot of names were at all-time highs, we'd be absolutely skyrocketing, right? Can you imagine? And I think we don't understand, this severity, how how massive this is, right? Legalize recreational MJ, right? This reminds me of when Canada did it, right? And this could be what changes the election here. We'll see what happens, but right now Trump's winning by a landslide, and I'm not getting political. I don't care who wins. I just want what's best for this industry. And the great news is it doesn't seem to be a partisan issue. It's a non one issue voter issue anymore, right? It's both are in support of it. There's been a lot of speculation that, the Dems are probably more pro MJ, and this would probably solidify that. So I wouldn't argue with that, but I think both are great, and I don't think it really matters who enters the office. In terms of the executive branch, I think Congress will work to get it done, and through the DEA, and herself can't, deschedule it or legalize it, right? She has to work with Congress and effectively descheduleize it. So we'll have to go through the DEA process and procedures, due process with regards to rescheduling, and then eventually get it descheduled. And, I'm not a lawyer, but at the end of the day, it's going to take some time. So I think there's a very high probability, regardless of who wins, I think, we should see it legalized at the recreational level over the next coming, 3 or 4 years. And if we recall, I posted this video in the first debate about 3 months ago with Trump and Biden. And I said crypto versus medicine. And this basically is what it has been, right? This side is picking MJ, and this side has been more heavy on crypto. And as of right now, they're both in support of crypto. Harris for crypto and that campaign, and there's been a lot of push there, but one side's pushing medicine more and the other side, but yet still pro crypto, and this one's more pro crypto but still pro MJ, so pushing crypto a little bit more. And as we know, Trump actually released his own crypto, so this is going to be interesting. I would expect them to bring it up in this podcast. Crypto, is probably his new project, right? His crypto project. And then his sons are involved as well. And they'll probably bring up MJ as well, I would think, especially now that Kamala Harris, and especially today that she came out with this news here that she wants to legalize it at the recreational level. This is new, but just seeing this in writing is pretty surreal, right? So I think that, the timing is interesting. And also the S&P 500 has been a bit weak, and it's showing some signs of life. And we could see an interesting week. We're less than 11 days before the elections. And as I said, like clockwork, 10 to 20 days before the election, we should expect massive news. And sure enough, here we are on October 25th, and it comes out with the words in writing on digital paper here: legalize recreational MJ. So it's hard to believe we waited all this long. We've waited all this time. But the time is finally here. I think, the next few years are going to be MJ's time to shine. MSOS didn't see a whole lot of movement today, but overall just looking for a nice daily higher low. I mentioned an inside bar would more than likely be the case today based on the size of that range from yesterday, and that was exactly the case. So as of right now, major support here is 741, and then key resistance short term is going to be 792. But if we take a look at the leaders on the day today, we had out of the majors, we had CGC, ACB, and AYR. OGI, so Organogram was also pumping, but CGC looking really, really good here. It's all about 547, as I mentioned on a previous video, because we break the high of last month, and we did break it. We just didn't see much follow through. SPY was a bit weak today, but overall great to see that, crypto and the broader market. SPY was a bit weaker today, and MJ has been breaking to higher highs. So while a lot of the broader market's dropping to daily lower lows, we're seeing higher highs and, just an upward trajectory on MJ, which follows with my thesis that we're going to see MJ be one of the best performing, if not the best performing sector, potentially with the biotech sector over the coming years. But this is huge. I'm actually in a CGC swing, and I'm looking for a back test here of EMA 12 on the monthly, which would bring us up around $8.07 USD. So overall, looking pretty good. MSOS looking fantastic here. MACD and Stochastic super bullish, well above the 10-week moving average. We just need to get a candle close over that 50 weekly moving average, preferably 3 candles over that. And we got some runway there until about $17, which is the 200 weekly moving average. And then we have the 200-day moving average there at 811. So we're getting very close, and we could see a golden cross over the next couple of weeks. And that's more than likely going to be after the elections, when we have, we see who wins, and then, who takes control of the Senate, the House, all etc. And then who takes the executive branch, who's the president. And then ultimately, if Florida passes, and I think they're going to, I think it'll be in the mid 60 percentile. I've been saying that for many, many months now. And I do think that that's going to be the most likely scenario. So like I said, that makes sense to maybe the week the end of the week of the election or shortly after, we should see some major momentum. But I think next week could be an interesting week, and especially if we get this over the weekend published or maybe on Monday, could be some interesting timing, like I said, off the cuff and off the back of this news here, which, it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty crazy to see legalized recreational MJ here on a presidential nominee's to-do list if they become president. So that'd be the first woman ever as well. So we'll see what happens. I really don't care at the end of the day who wins. If it was up to me, I would have rather neither. I think RFK Jr. would have been the best pick bar none, but by a country mile. But at the end of the day, I'm not American, so I can't vote, and I just want what's best for this MJ and this industry and this medicine of the future. And as of right now, both are very pro, and it's looking like it doesn't matter who wins. We're going to see some major reform over the coming years, and it's been a long wait, but it's going to be worth it. Trust me. All right, going in there, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. Always love hearing from you. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. And once again, happy Friday. Have a fantastic weekend, and go Oilers, go.